Thank you very much. Good morning, dobre dopoledne, boker tov, everybody. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you very much to Tomasz for inviting me into the IDS, and what an impressive venue this is here in Olomouc. So my thanks for inviting me. And the speakers this morning proved already very interesting. Medical education is going through a big change. And what I found very interesting about even some of the first talks this morning, when speaking about, for instance, using games in education or games for training, we in medicine also do this. And it's an interesting study a few years ago by the Royal College of Surgeons in England showed that doctors, surgeons in training who played PlayStation or Xbox actually performed laparoscopic surgery, minor invasive surgery, better. They learned the skills better than the older surgeons who were more experienced at traditional surgery. And we're using this idea, the way that medical education is progressing can only be linked with technology to improve drastically the way that we provide education to our doctors. I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about what we are pioneering at the First Faculty of Medicine. My role is the Vice Dean of the First Faculty of Medicine at Charles University. If I may, I'll start by just telling you a little bit about us, who we are. So the First Faculty of Medicine, Charles University, dates back to 1348. The faculty was one of the 4 founding faculties of the university, making us the 10th oldest medical school in the world. We have about 4,500 undergraduate students, of which about 800 are international students taught in English, taught medicine and dentistry in English. We maintain a ranking in the top 1% of all medical schools globally. And in fact, our USMLE results in 2020 were that 100% of our students who took step 1 at USMLE passed on their first attempt. 100% of our students who took step 2 passed on their first attempt. And all of our students who applied for matching got their residency. So how is it we do this? And how do we keep up with the modern times and the way things are changing? This is because although we are this historical faculty, we maintain a modern outlook, and students are the core of who we are and what we are, and our ethos is to help our students achieve the maximum of their potential, both in medical school and in their careers beyond. If I may, I'm joined today by a video of some of my colleagues from back in Prague and with our dean, so I'll let you see a little video of some of the technology we're using in education.
Dear listeners, let me introduce our faculty, the First Faculty of Medicine. First Faculty of Medicine is a part of Charles University, founded in 1348 in the heart of Europe, Prague, which is the capital of the Czech Republic. We provide education in the field of general medicine history, in both Czech and English language. Medical education is constantly evolving. For example, in the field of technology. Technology allows us to make better trainings in the field of the diagnostic and therapeutic procedures and make them more effective. We are constantly trying to enrich the traditional educational methods with new interactive methods and procedures that allow students to be prepared to work with real patients. That is why we have implemented trainings with the simulators in various forms since first semester of studies. Since 2007, First Faculty of Medicine has been part of the Medical Faculties Network, MEFANET. MEFANET serves for collaboration between all medical faculties in the Czech and Slovak Republic. MEFANET network enables effective use of technology in the education of medical and healthcare fields and as a response to today's challenges. Among many tools, it provides interactive simulations of real-time, real-life conditions using advanced algorithms. Interactive simulations allows us to provide trainings that includes most common but also unusual topics based on actual requirements. Center of Medical Simulation is a part of the first Faculty of Medicine. We are also developing new tools such as mathematical models of physiological and pathophysiological processes and web-based simulators that can be used in augmented and virtual reality.
So it's very important to use simulators to train in specific situations, but it's also very important to comprehend the pathophysiological principles. In other words, what is behind the simulated scenarios in terms of scientific knowledge. This must be done during the debriefing phase when the simulation experience is analyzed in a group from a different perspective.
Medical simulators allow an entirely new way of teaching, where a student can practice diagnostic and therapeutic tasks in virtual reality without danger of the patient. Sophisticated medical simulators use robotic patient mannequins as a user interface. The core of modern medical simulators is their interconnection with mathematical models of physiological systems of the organism. At the faculty, we have been dealing with creating mathematical models of human physiology for decades. The development of the internet fundamentally changes the possibilities of medical education. Multimedia, in combination with simulation games, offer new opportunities for explaining complex interconnected systems of the organism, their behavior in the normal situation and during various pathologies. The simulation model allows for a more apparent and straightforward explanation of the causal relationships, and it contributes to a better understanding of the mutual context of the explaining pathological processes. Our new technology allows us to create a tutorial simulation on a web browser. The mathematical model can control interactive graphics images like model-driven puppets. We can run web simulators on computers and tablets or on smartphones. Our technology allows us to create a new teaching tool, the electronic simulation textbooks.
Despite all advances in technology, we never forget human aspects of education, and we realize that the goal of our endeavor is human being.
COVID was disastrous for the world in many, many ways. But in every sad point, in every difficulty, we can always look for the positives as well. And one of the positives that COVID provided for us was that at first the Faculty of Medicine, we managed to maintain medical education throughout the pandemic, throughout the lockdowns. And we maintained it by utilizing technology. Utilizing the technology like you just saw, and by utilizing the web browsers, the seminars, the Zoom applications, we could continue education throughout. That, combined with utilizing the high-tech medical simulators, the mannequins, meant that we could practice and teach our students on safe devices rather than putting them in risk of catching COVID themselves or spreading it to other people. This enables me to move on to one further project which I've been working on for a long time. The world is getting smaller, and there's an increasing demand for doctors. Demand because we have a growing population, we have an aging population, and we have a higher proportion of physicians who enter part-time training or part-time practice due to family commitments. And in fact, at most medical schools across the globe now, more than 80% of medical students are female. So how do we increase rapidly the number of doctors to match this? Israel is in many ways ahead of the game, as we've seen today. And we started partnerships with Israel from many years ago. At our faculty, we host almost 200 students from Israel. And what we realize is that to create really the top doctors in the world, it's not just giving them the theoretical knowledge that they have to have. It's also about giving them the clinical skills and the understanding of the healthcare system in which they wish to work. Through that, we created relationships with a number of hospitals in Israel, so our students can go to Israel to do the clinical rotations in Ivrit on Israeli patients in the culture and the healthcare system in which they wish to work upon graduation. And only able to maintain their quality of education by utilizing technology where they can access online their lectures, their seminars, their interaction with their colleagues back in Prague throughout the whole education, including exams in some cases. I think I'm unfortunately out of time, but I'm welcome to all questions, and also to say thank you for all of you for the progress you're making in technology, and we're very keen to work with you to help with education in the future.